and his weekly Catechesis.
Bisogna che tra coloro che sono stati con noi per tutto il tempo nel quale il Signore Gesù ha vissuto fra noi, cominciando dal battesimo di Giovanni fino al giorno in cui è stato di mezzo a noi assunto in cielo, uno divenga testimone insieme a noi della sua risurrezione. La sorte cadde su Mattia, che fu associato agli 11 apostoli. Parola di Dio.
Du livre des Actes des Apôtres. Pierre dit: il y a des hommes qui nous ont accompagnés durant tout le temps où le Seigneur Jésus a vécu parmi nous, depuis le commencement, lors du baptême donné par Jean, jusqu'au jour où il fut enlevé d'auprès de nous. Il faut donc que l'un d'entre eux devienne, avec nous, témoin de sa résurrection. Le sort tomba sur Matthias, qui fut donc associé aux 11 apôtres. Parole du Seigneur.
A reading from the Acts of the Apostles. In those days, Peter stood up and said, "Brethren, one of the men who have accompanied us during all the time that the Lord Jesus went in and out among us, beginning from the baptism of John until the day when he was taken up from us, one of these men must become with us a witness to his resurrection." And they cast lots for them, and the lot fell on Matthias, and he was enrolled with the 11 apostles. The word of the Lord.
Aus der Apostelgeschichte. Petrus sprach: Es ist also nötig, dass einer von den Männern, die mit uns die ganze Zeit zusammen waren, als Jesus der Herr bei uns ein- und ausging, angefangen von der Taufe durch Johannes bis zu dem Tag, an dem er von uns ging und in den Himmel aufgenommen wurde, einer von diesen muss nun zusammen mit uns Zeuge seiner Auferstehung sein. Und das Los fiel auf Matthias, und er wurde den 11 Aposteln zugezählt. Wort des lebendigen Gottes.
Lectura de los Hechos de los Apóstoles. Pedro dijo: es necesario que uno de los que han estado en nuestra compañía durante todo el tiempo que el Señor Jesús permaneció con nosotros, desde el bautismo de Juan hasta el día de la ascensión, sea constituido junto con nosotros testigo de su resurrección. Echaron suertes y la elección cayó sobre Matías, que fue agregado a los 11 apóstoles. Palabra de Dios.
Leitura dos Atos dos Apóstolos. Pedro disse: convém, pois, que destes homens que têm estado em nossa companhia a todo o tempo em que o Senhor Jesus viveu entre nós, a começar do batismo de João até o dia em que de nosso meio foi arrebatado, um deles se torne conosco testemunha da sua ressurreição. A sorte caiu em Matias, que foi incorporado aos 11 apóstolos. Palavra do Senhor.
قراءة من سفر أعمال الرسل. وفي تلك الأيام خطب بطرس في الإخوة فقال: ونحن فينا رجال رافقونا طوال المدة التي قضاها الرب يسوع بيننا منذ أن عمده يوحنا إلى يوم ارتفع عنا، فيجب أن نختار واحدا منهم ليكون شاهدا معنا على قيامة يسوع. ثم اقترعوا، فوقعت القرعة على متياس، فضم إلى الرسل 11. كلام الرب.
Czytanie z Dziejów Apostolskich. Piotr powiedział: trzeba więc, aby jeden z tych, którzy towarzyszyli nam przez cały czas, kiedy Pan Jezus przebywał z nami, począwszy od chrztu Janowego aż do dnia, w którym został wzięty od nas do nieba, stał się razem z nami świadkiem Jego zmartwychwstania. A los padł na Macieja i został dołączony do 11 apostołów. Oto Słowo Boże.
Cari fratelli e sorelle, buongiorno.
Dear brothers and sisters, good morning. We have begun a path of catechesis that will continue along the voyage of the gospel narrated by the Acts of the Apostles. This book shows certainly the voyage of the gospel, which goes on and on and on. Everything begins with the resurrection of Christ. This, in fact, isn't just another event among others, but it's the source of new life. The disciples know it, and obedient to the commandment of Jesus, they remain united, concordant, perseverant in prayer. They hold to Mary, the Mother, and they prepare themselves to receive the power of God, not in a passive way, but consolidating in communion amongst themselves. That first community was formed of 120 brothers and sisters. It's a number that brings within it the 12, emblematic of Israel, which represented the 12 tribes, and emblematic for the Church by way of the 12 apostles chosen by Jesus. But now, after the painful events of the Passion, the apostles of the Lord are no longer 12, but 11. One of them, Judas, is no longer there. He's taken his life crushed by remorse. He had already begun before to separate himself from communion with the Lord and with the others, to become alone, to isolate himself, to attach himself to money to the point of instrumentalizing the poor, losing sight of the horizon of gratuitousness and the gift of self, to the point of allowing the virus of pride to infect his mind and heart, transforming him from a friend into an enemy and into the guide for those who arrested Jesus. Judas received the great grace of being part of the intimate group of Jesus and of participating in his very ministry. But at a certain point, he tried to save for himself his own life, with the result of losing it. He stopped belonging to Jesus with his heart, and he placed himself outside communion with him and with those around him. he stopped being a disciple and he placed himself above the Master. He sold him, and with the price of the crime, he bought land that didn't produce fruit, but was impregnated by his own blood. If Judas preferred death to life and followed the example of the wicked, whose way is like the darkness that goes into ruin, the 11, on the other hand, choose life and blessing. They become responsible for making it flow into history from generation to generation in the people of Israel to the church. St. Luke, the evangelist, helps us to see before all the abandonment of one of the 12, who's created a wound to the communitarian body. And it's necessary that his position pass to another. And who could take on that position? Peter indicates a prerequisite. The new member must have been a disciple of Jesus from the beginning. That is, from the baptism in the Jordan until the end, until the ascension into heaven. They need to reconstitute the group of 12. And the praxis of communitarian discernment is then inaugurated, which consists in seeing the reality with the eyes of God through the lens of unity and communion. There are two candidates, Joseph Barsabas and Matthias. So the community prays in this way: You, Lord, who know the hearts of all, show us which one of these two you have chosen to take the place in this apostolic ministry from which Judas turned away. And by way of lots, the Lord indicates Matthias, who is then associated to the other 11. And in this way, the body of 12 is reconstituted, sign of communion. And communion wins over division, over isolation, over the mentality that absolutizes the private space. The sign of the communion of the first witness that the apostles offer. Jesus had said, "This is how all will know that you are my disciples, if you have love for one another." The 12 manifest in the Acts of the Apostles the style of the Lord. They're accredited witnesses to the work of salvation of Christ. And they don't manifest to the world their presumed perfection, but through the grace of unity, they make another person emerge, who, at that point, lives in a new way in the midst of the people, the Lord Jesus. The apostles choose to live under the lordship of the risen one, in unity among brothers, which becomes the only possible atmosphere for the authentic gift of self. We also need to rediscover the beauty of bearing witness to the risen one, coming out of our self-referential attitudes, renouncing the holding back of the gifts of God, and not ceding to mediocrity. The making of the Apostolic College more united shows how in the DNA of the Christian community there's unity and personal freedom that allow for us not to fear diversity, of not attaching ourselves to things and to gifts, and to becoming martyres, luminous witnesses of the living God who operates in history. So now we'll hear the different summaries of the Pope's weekly catechesis here, and also the greetings that the Pope will give to all of these different language groups. Ben, we always begin with French here after the Pope gives his Italian greetings. You just came back from France. You were there for a special pilgrimage from the Cathedral of Notre Dame. Well, they moved the beginning of the route, right, to Saint-Sulpice, and you moved on to Chartres. Can you describe a little bit of the atmosphere that you lived there, the reasons for the pilgrimage, and why, maybe from your description to me, why this gives us hope also for the church here in Europe?
Yes. It was an absolutely extraordinary experience. So it's called the Paris-Chartres pilgrimage, and it's one of the oldest pilgrimages in all of France. And they kind of started up again in the 1980s. And this was kind of to bring back a little bit of that traditional Catholic ethos into France, because France is often called the eldest daughter of the church. But of course, it's, at this point, it's one of the most secular countries in the world, and with all of the suffering that the Catholic community has seen in France, really this year it was really important for there to be a kind of a public statement of Catholicism, and so there were around 14,000 pilgrims from around the world. I was actually part of an American group called Our Lady of the Most Holy Rosary that was actually from Minnesota, but I, because being part of the press and with two of my colleagues, we were able to travel around to different groups, and so I spent actually the majority of my time with a group from SOS Chrétien de Lorient. So it's like an advocacy group that helps Christians in the Middle East. And so it was extraordinary. We did about 62 miles in 3 days, and so that was more walking than I've ever really done in my entire life. But it's absolutely transformative. And one of the things that really stood out to me was actually, as the Holy Father was talking about, is that the Christian community started out small, but it was humble and it was loyal, and it spoke the truth and it grew. And it makes me think so much about this pilgrimage that really started out with a few hundred people. One of the coordinators was saying that 5 years ago there was less than 10,000. Now there's practically 15,000, and so they feel really empowered to keep doing this work. And the communal aspect was just transformative.
So the Holy Father just giving a greeting to French-speaking pilgrims here. He says, in the moment in which we bring up this ordinary liturgical time after the time of Easter that we've just finished, he says after Pentecost, we begin to make an effort to bear witness to the risen Christ in our daily lives, in the gift of ourselves and in communion with our brothers. God bless you. And Ben, it's great to hear about the pilgrimage there, and of course we're following along from here on social media. Where can people find some news about the pilgrimage and more details if they're interested?
Yeah, so we have two great writers, Solène Tadier, who works for the National Catholic Register, who will be writing a piece, and then Courtney Grogan from Catholic News Agency. And actually later today on our EWTN Vatican Facebook page, we'll be doing a Facebook Live where we'll be sharing our experience.
Wonderful. So tune in for that if you're around, and if you aren't, to see it live, you can always catch it in the rebroadcast, which on social media is eternal. Here, of course, we have the English language Catechesis.
You of their prayers for your ministry as the successor of Peter. At the end of the audience, we will sing together the Our Father in Latin. The words are found on the back of your ticket. The Holy Father will then impart his apostolic blessing, which he willingly extends to the members of your families at home. His Holiness also intends to bless any religious articles you may have brought for this purpose. And in a special way, his blessing goes to all children and young people, the elderly and the sick, and those recently married. The following is a summary of the Holy Father's words this morning. Dear brothers and sisters, in our Catechesis on the Acts of the Apostles, we have seen that the Church's evangelizing mission begins with the resurrection of Christ. As the disciples, together with Mary, waited in the upper room for the fulfillment of Jesus' promise of the Holy Spirit, they were united in prayer. From the beginning, the Church appears as a communion, a community, the people of God. Christ's choice of 12 apostles shows the continuity between the Church and the people of Israel. After the defection of Judas, the apostles were conscious that his place in the 12 had to be taken by another. Guided by Peter, the community as a whole joined in prayer to discern the Lord's choice of Matthias. Jesus had told his disciples that they would be known by their love for one another. The visible communion of the apostles was their first form of witness to the risen Lord and his saving love. May we too bear witness to the reconciling power of that love by our unity, which triumphs over pride and divisiveness and creates from diversity the one people of God.
Do il benvenuto ai pellegrini di lingua inglese presenti all'udierna odierna, specialmente a quelli provenienti da Inghilterra, Irlanda, Finlandia, Australia, Hong Kong, Corea, Indonesia, Filippini, Sri Lanka, Taiwan, Vietnam e Stati Uniti d'America. Rivolgo un saluto particolare ai missionari verbiti venuti dall'Indonesia e dalla delegazione interreligiosa di Hong Kong, accompagnata dal cardinale John Tong Hong. Su tutti voi invoco la gioia e la pace del Signore Gesù Cristo. Dio vi benedica.
I welcome all the English-speaking pilgrims and visitors taking part in today's audience, especially those from England, Ireland, Finland, Australia, Hong Kong, Korea, Indonesia, the Philippines, Sri Lanka, Taiwan, Vietnam, and the United States of America. I offer a special greeting to the Divine Word missionaries from Indonesia and the interreligious delegation from Hong Kong, led by Cardinal John Tong Hon. Upon all of you, I invoke the joy and peace of our Lord Jesus Christ. God bless you.
Zen was his. So we just heard
Heiliger Vater,
greetings of the different English language pilgrims, and among them was Cardinal John Tong Hon, who is the Emeritus Archbishop of Hong Kong and the successor to Cardinal Joseph Zen. We often hear his name in the news related with the Church in China. Here we're going to move on to the German language catechesis and summary, and we're going to just allow this broadcast to continue on our social media here, which if you'd like to check out EWTN Deutsch and also CNA in the German language. They're both very present on social media, and you can reach out to either of them also and engage directly by way of their Facebook and also, if you'd like to, directly with us to our EWTN Vatican Facebook and Twitter accounts.
Es folgt nun eine Zusammenfassung der Katechese des Heiligen Vaters in deutscher Sprache. Danach wird Papst Franziskus einen kurzen Gruß auf Italienisch an die deutschsprachigen Pilger richten. Liebe Brüder und Schwestern, in der heutigen Katechese fahren wir mit unserer Betrachtung über die Apostelgeschichte fort. Diese berichtet, dass die Apostel nach der Himmelfahrt Jesu einmütig im Gebet verharrten. Sie hatten sich dabei um Maria, die Mutter Jesu, geschart. Einer der 12 von Jesus ausgewählten Aposteln fehlte. Judas, der Verräter Jesu, hatte sich von der Gemeinschaft abgesondert. Er wollte es auf eigene Faust schaffen. Er hatte die anderen für seine Interessen instrumentalisiert. Judas wurde Opfer seines eigenen Stolzes und wählte schließlich den Tod, während die anderen Apostel sich für das Leben entschieden. Den Platz und die Aufgabe des Judas musste ein anderer Zeuge des Lebens und der Auferstehung Jesu übernehmen. So baten sie Gott um die Entscheidung für den rechten Kandidaten, und das Los fiel auf Matthias. Frei von ihren eigenen Plänen und Vorstellungen vertrauten sie ganz auf Gottes Führung. Damit wurden sie zu Zeugen der Gemeinschaft in Christus. So ist auch die DNA der Gemeinde Jesu, die Einheit der Jünger, die Freiheit des Einzelnen von sich selbst und das Zeugnis für das Handeln Gottes in der Geschichte.
Rivolgo un cordiale saluto ai pellegrini di lingua tedesca. Incontrando qui a Roma i fedeli di tutto il mondo,
The Holy Father, greeting the pilgrims of the German language, says that meeting here in Rome the faithful of all the world, may you live truly unity in diversity, as Jesus indicated. I wish you a happy stay and a happy and spiritually stimulating stay here in the Eternal City. The Lord bless you and your
Einen
families.
herzlichen Gruß richte ich an die Pilger und Besucher deutscher Sprache. Indem wir hier in Rom Christen aus der ganzen Welt treffen, können wir die Einheit in der Vielfalt wirklich leben, wie Jesus es uns gezeigt hat. Ich wünsche euch einen frohen und geistlich stimulierenden Aufenthalt in der ewigen Stadt. Der Herr segne euch und eure Familien.
Santo Padre, los visitantes y peregrinos de lengua
Now we hear
española
the Spanish language greeting, and we invite you to follow our EWTN Vaticano Facebook page, where you can also see this broadcast and comment. Send us your prayer requests as well. We keep those in our prayers throughout the week, and every week at Mass on Friday, we pray for your requests.
Padre Nuestro en latín, cuyo texto se encuentra en el reverso del billete de entrada. Después, el Santo Padre impartirá a todos los presentes la bendición apostólica, que extiende complacido a sus familiares, especialmente a los niños y a los ancianos, a los enfermos y a cuantos sufren. Bendice también los rosarios y objetos de devoción que los peregrinos llevan consigo.
Queridos hermanos y hermanas, hemos comenzado un nuevo ciclo de catequesis que seguirá el viaje del Evangelio que narra el libro de los Hechos de los Apóstoles. Todo tiene origen en la resurrección de Cristo, que es la fuente de vida nueva. Por eso los discípulos permanecen unidos y perseverantes en la oración junto a María, la Madre de Jesús, y de la nueva comunidad, en espera de recibir el Espíritu Santo. Esa primera comunidad estaba formada por 120 hermanos y hermanas, un número que contiene el 12, emblemático para Israel por las 12 tribus y también para la Iglesia por los 12 apóstoles elegidos por Jesús, que después de los acontecimientos dolorosos de la pasión, con la traición de Judas, se redujeron a 11. Judas, que había recibido la gracia de formar parte del grupo inseparable de Jesús, perdió de vista el horizonte de la gratuidad del don recibido y dejó entrar en su corazón el virus del orgullo, y de amigo se volvió enemigo de Jesús traicionándolo. Prefirió la muerte a la vida, un camino de oscuridad y ruina. Los otros 11, en cambio, escogieron la vida y la bendición, convirtiéndose en responsables de transmitirlas de generación en generación y del pueblo de Israel a la Iglesia. El evangelista Lucas nos dice cómo el abandono de Judas causó una herida al cuerpo comunitario. Era necesario que su misión pasara a otro, pero indicó el requisito indispensable: haber sido discípulo de Jesús desde el principio hasta el fin, desde el bautismo en el Jordán hasta la ascensión. De los 2 candidatos propuestos, el elegido fue Matías, que es asociado a los 11, reconstituyendo así el colegio apostólico, signo de la comunión. Y este es el primer testimonio de una comunidad viva y que sigue el estilo del Señor. Saludo cordialmente a los peregrinos de lengua española venidos de España y Latinoamérica. Pidamos al Señor el don de vivir bajo la señoría del Cristo en unidad y libertad. como testigos de su resurrección, para manifestar al mundo el amor y la misericordia de Dios que está presente y actúa en la historia de la humanidad. Que Dios los bendiga.
The Holy Father asking the Lord for the gift of living under the lordship of Christ in unity and freedom as witnesses of His resurrection, to be able to manifest to the world the love and the mercy of God that's present and acts in the history of humanity. The Holy Father asking for blessings upon all of the Spanish-speaking pilgrims. Now we hear the Portuguese language catechesis and greetings, and we give a special shout-out to our ASI Digital colleagues and to all of their audience on social media. If you speak Portuguese, check out ASI Digital on Facebook and also on Twitter.
Extensiva aos seus familiares, especialmente aos doentes, às crianças, aos jovens, aos idosos e a todos aqueles que passam por dificuldades. O Santo Padre abençoará igualmente todas as lembranças e objetos religiosos que os peregrinos tenham consigo. Resumo da catequese desta manhã. Iniciamos o ciclo de catequese sobre a viagem do Evangelho no livro dos Atos dos Apóstolos. Hoje, vemos como os apóstolos buscaram recompor o seu corpo, que após os eventos dolorosos da paixão do Senhor, ficara reduzido a 11 membros. Judas Iscariotes, muito embora recebera a grande graça de ser parte do círculo íntimo de Jesus e de participar do seu ministério, num determinado momento isolou-se, apegando-se ao dinheiro e caindo no orgulho, ao ponto de preferir a morte à vida. Os apóstolos, ao contrário, escolheram a vida e a bênção, e para tal decidiram eleger alguém para o lugar de Judas. Deveria ser algum discípulo de Jesus, desde o batismo no Jordão até a sua ascensão ao céu. Elegeu-se Matias, através do discernimento comunitário, ou seja, procurando olhar a realidade com os olhos de Deus, segundo a ótica da unidade e comunhão. Com o corpo dos 12 reconstituído, vemos como a comunhão é o primeiro testemunho da obra de salvação de Cristo e da ação de Deus na história, na fidelidade às palavras do Senhor. Nisso todos conhecerão que sois meus discípulos, se vos amardes uns aos outros.
Cari amici di lingua portoghese che oggi prendete parte a questo incontro, grazie per la vostra presenza e soprattutto per le vostre preghiere. Saluto tutti voi, in particolare i pellegrini dell'Essa da Palmeira, Chaves e i gruppi venuti dal Brasile, augurandovi che questo pellegrinaggio rafforzi nei vostri cuori il sentire e il vivere della Chiesa sotto il tenero sguardo della Vergine Madre. Su di voi e sulle vostre famiglie scenda la benedizione del Signore.
The Holy Father asking for he's wishing that the pilgrimage of all the Portuguese speakers may reinforce in their hearts the feeling of living in the church under the tender look of the Virgin Mary. On all of you and your families, he said, may the blessing of the Lord descend.
Que essa peregrinação fortaleça nos vossos corações o sentir e o viver em igreja, sob o terno olhar da Virgem Mãe. Sobre vós e vossas famílias, desça a bênção do Senhor.
أيها الأب الأقدس يسر المؤمنون الناطقون
Now we have the Arabic language catechesis and summary. And Ben, this is our chance to tell people a little bit about the imprint of this particular general audience broadcast and what people are saying on social media. What are people saying today?
So, as usual, we're broadcasting this on our EWTN Vatican Facebook page, and with that, we're sharing it on essentially an umbrella of different Catholic news sites. So, Catholic News constituency is where I'm actually currently looking at right now. And so it's the first time actually I've seen, we have an audience member from Mauritius, which is in the southeastern kind of Pacific region, right next to La Réunion and Madagascar, near Africa.
And Pope Francis will actually be visiting Mauritius later on this year in September as part of a trip to Madagascar and also to Mozambique. Yeah, this is the triple M.
So anyway, thank you for watching us. I mean, I'm always kind of amazed by kind of the reach that we have. As well, we're, on the opposite side of the world, we've got a few followers who are watching from Saskatchewan, Canada. And then one that has particularly touched me deeply is the first time I've actually seen someone who's watching from Damascus in Syria. And that makes me think a lot about the pilgrimage we were just talking about, because during that group, there was a young man from Aleppo in Syria, and so he was talking about the enormous kind of comfort that he feels from the prayers from Catholics around the world who are turning their attention and their hearts to Syria, because he said that a lot of the faithful there, they feel forgotten. They feel that they're kind of in this unstoppable conflict. And so I want to just, kind of reiterate to the group of followers who are watching currently right now, that we are praying for you and that, we really have our hearts there. We had another group who was watching from Oman, in the Gulf. And then, as usual, we have a pretty strong contingent from New Zealand, Indonesia, the Philippines, Malaysia. So we're always grateful for that audience who's watching. And then we also had a group from Gothenburg, Sweden, who were watching. And that's, I thought, was really kind of beautiful, because we had a group from EWTN Nordic who also went on this pilgrimage in France.
Which is based in Stockholm, and they've spoken to us about the incredible faith and liveliness of the parish there in Gothenburg.
Yes.
Great to
Yeah, so it's I always find, through social media, one of the things that I keep really trying to say is that a lot of our biggest interactions and our biggest engagements are from some of the parts of the world where you would not maybe traditionally identify, with a very strong Catholic faith, but it's oftentimes those, that small minority voice that is super faithful and that is committed and that has an environment that might not be as receptive, but through social media, they have a voice.
Yep, we're united, just as that first group of 12 and then the 120 that started as the Pope spoke about today in his Catechesis. So the Holy Father greeting the Arabic language speakers right now, saying from the moment of the resurrection, from the womb of the resurrection, was born the Church. The light of the risen one in the first community defeated individualism and the fear of the other, and brought the Church to push out into the ends of the earth to bear witness to the love of God through sharing, witness, and brotherhood. May the Lord bless you and protect you always from evil.
فنور القائم من بين الأموات انتصر في الجماعة الأولى على النزعة الفردية وعلى الخوف من الآخر، ودفع الكنيسة للانطلاق حتى أقاصي الأرض لتشهد لمحبة الله عبر المشاركة والشهادة والإخوة. ليبارككم الرب جميعا ويحرسكم دائما من الشرير.
Now we'll have the final catechesis here in the Polish language. We have this broadcast going live on our social media for EWTN Polska, based in Wrocław. We had some representatives of that office here in Rome this last week, and along with Bishop Andrasz Simonewski. And we always love to see other EWTN colleagues from around the world come through Rome here, and we work with them through their social media here. We are just going to allow this Polish language catechesis to play out here for all those who may be watching on EWTN Poland.
Udziela apostolskiego błogosławieństwa wszystkim tu obecnym, obejmując nim również nasze rodziny, dzieci, młodzież, a szczególnie osoby dotknięte cierpieniem. Pobłogosławi także różańce i dewocjonalia, jakie pielgrzymi przynieśli ze sobą. Streszczenie katechezy Ojca Świętego. Drodzy bracia i siostry, święty Łukasz Ewangelista, autor Dziejów Apostolskich, opisując początki Kościoła po zmartwychwstaniu Chrystusa, przypomniał, że odstępstwo Judasza, jednego z 12 apostołów, spowodowało wyłom w gronie wspólnoty. Trzeba było, aby jego zadanie przejął ktoś inny. Spośród uczniów, którzy byli z Panem Jezusem od początku, wskazano 2 kandydatów: Józefa, zwanego Barsabą, i Macieja. Po modlitwie, w której wszyscy prosili Boga o wskazanie właściwego kandydata, poprzez losowanie do grona 11 dołączono Macieja. Zrekonstruowana wspólnota 12 staje się znakiem komunii, tej, która zwycięża podziały, pozwala jednoznacznie świadczyć o zmartwychwstaniu Jezusa. Wszystkich umacnia zapewnienie Pana. Po tym wszyscy poznają, żeście uczniami moimi, jeśli będziecie się wzajemnie miłowali. Komunia z Chrystusem i z braćmi cementuje więź apostołów, umacnia ich kolegialne działanie, buduje autorytet wobec całej wspólnoty chrześcijańskiej. Bądźmy wraz z nimi świadkami Boga żywego, działającego w świecie, w historii, w nas. Obecnie Ojciec Święty pozdrowi nas, Polaków, w języku włoskim.
Saluto cordialmente i pellegrini polacchi. So che tanti di voi e migliaia di vostri
Holy Father,
connazionali
greeting the pilgrims of the Polish language. He says that he knows many of you and thousands of your co-nationals last Sunday participated in the Cortei per la Vita, which is like a manifestation in favor of life, bringing the message of life, that life is sacred because it's a gift from God. We're called to defend it and to serve it from conception in the womb, in the maternal womb, until an advanced age, when we are marked by infirmities and by suffering. It's not licit to destroy life, to make it the object of experimentation or false conceptions. I ask you to pray so that human life will always be respected, bearing witness in this way to the evangelical values, especially in the environment of the family. From my heart, I bless you and your dear ones.
Uczestniczyło w minioną niedzielę w marszach dla życia, niosąc przesłanie, że życie jest święte, ponieważ jest darem Boga. Jesteśmy wezwani, by Go bronić i służyć Mu, już od poczęcia w łonie matki, aż po to starcze, często schorowane i cierpiące. Nie wolno życia niszczyć, czynić przedmiotem eksperymentów lub fałszywych koncepcji. Proszę, módlcie się o szacunek dla życia ludzkiego, o zachowanie wartości ewangelicznych i rodzinnych. Z serca błogosławię Wam i Waszym bliskim.
Santo Padre, i pellegrini di lingua italiana presenti a questa
Now we're wrapping up this general audience with the final Italian greeting here. The Italian priest here speaking says that the pilgrims of the Italian language accompany you in fervent prayer in your ministry. At the conclusion of this encounter, we'll be singing the prayer of the Our Father in the Latin language, the text of which is on the back of the tickets for anybody there at the audience. And after this, the Holy Father will impart his apostolic blessing, which extends to all of those in the square and all those who are dear to them, in particular to children, the sick, and to those who suffer. He will also be blessing rosaries and other religious objects of devotion that anyone has brought with them. Holy Father greets all of those pilgrims of the Italian language. There's a Sardinian flag present in the square. It's an Italian island. The Holy Father says that he is happy to welcome those from institutes that are celebrating their general chapters right now, the Sisters of the Holy Cross, the Missionary Franciscans of Mary, and also the third order regulars of St. Francis. Give a welcome to parish groups, especially those from Corridonia, Latina, and Andria. Holy Father gives an affectionate greeting also to new priests from Brescia, and also a delegation of Russian Orthodox priests that are present at the audience. Holy Father, giving a particular thought to young people, to the elderly, to the sick, and also to newlywed couples. Tomorrow is the liturgical memory of Saint Anthony of Padua, illustrious preacher and patron of the poor and of the suffering. May his intercession aid you to experience the help of divine mercy.
Fiat voluntas tua, sicut in cielo et in terra. Panem nostrum quotidianum da nobis hodie, et dimite nobis debita nostra, sicut et nos dimittimus debitoribus nostris, et ne nos inducas in tentationem, sed libera nos a malo.
Dominus vobiscum.
Et cum spiritu tuo.
Sit nomen Domini benedictum.
Ex hoc nunc et usque in saeculum.
Aiutorium nostrum in nomine Domini.
Qui feci caelum et terram.
Benedicat vos omnipotens Deus, Pater, et Filius, et Spiritus Sanctus. Amen.
Amen.
The Holy Father thus concludes this week's general audience in St. Peter's Square, focusing on the 12 apostles and how they carried out Jesus' founding of the church in unity in diversity. Ben, thank you so much for being here with us.
Thank you, Alan.
And also a big thanks to Massimiliano Valenti, who's in the studio with us, taking care of all technical aspects, making sure this broadcast is possible. We also say thank you to our men down in Birmingham, Alabama. That's Billy Bunn and also Kevin Dudley. And a greeting to all of you out there. And please reach out to us by way of our social media, EWTN Vatican on Facebook. We'd be happy to hear from you, and we're praying for you always. God bless.